Hello. In this lesson, you will learn how to summarize lectures by developing your listening and note-taking skills. Summarizing teaches you how to discern the most important ideas in a text and lectures, how to ignore irrelevant information, and how to integrate the central ideas in a meaningful way. Summarization strategies can be used in almost every content area in studying. When you summarize a lecture, 1. It is very important to put the key ideas into your own words so that you'll be able to understand the content of the lecture better. Also, for your better understanding, explaining what you have learned to others is one of the most effective ways. Therefore, it is highly recommended to, number 2, put the key ideas into your own words and speak them out loud to a study partner or to yourself after the lecture. Well, let's put it in this way. If your friend had to miss the class because she was ill, the next day she asks you to tell her quickly what the professor said in the lecture. What would you tell her to give her the idea of the lecture? Here are 3 key points you should share with her. 1. The topic of the lecture. 2. The big picture of the lecture. In other words, the most important ideas. 3. A few important points and examples. Here are several expressions for summarizing the lecture. Now, I will take you through some of the most popular styles of taking lecture notes that people have used with success. It's important to note that many of these styles relate to using pen and paper, but with a laptop or a tablet, you can also create these styles with some special applications or simply creating the template by yourself. The Kono note-taking system is a format of condensing and organizing notes by dividing paper into specific sections. There are 6 main aspects to the system. 1. Name, date, and title. Every time that you start a new series of notes, you should record the name of the task, for example, lecture or textbook reading, the date and the title, headings, and subheadings. 2. Record. This is the actual note-taking process. It is interesting to note that this component only takes up one of the 6 total methods, which demonstrates how important review and reflection is to the note-taking process. Before you record, please divide your piece of paper into 3 sections, as the picture shows. And during the lecture or as you read, keep notes in the main space. Each time there is a new main point, skip a few lines. 3. Questions. After the class is finished, and preferably as soon as possible, formulate some questions that you have based on your notes. Write them in the left-hand column, the Q column. If you are reading the textbook, these questions might be issues you did not understand from the reading material or things that you hope the instructor will cover in class. In this section, you may also want to flag the main points that you felt were particularly significant as additional cues. 4. Recite. Please cover your notes, specifically cover the right-hand section of your page so that only the questions and cues are visible. By looking at these questions and cue words, try and orally recreate your notes in your own words. This helps shift your knowledge from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. 5. Reflect. Think for a few minutes about the material that you have learned. Ask yourself questions such as, what is the significance of these facts? What principles are they founded on? How do these ideas fit in with what I already know? 6. Review. Use the space at the bottom of each page that you have reserved for a summary. Once you have completed these summaries, use these summaries to help you review the weekly notes without having to go back and review everything you have written. What makes the Cornell method so appealing is that you start out with possible disarray in the main point section, but through a bit of work, you end up with a very useful and straightforward structure. While this note-taking method is quite popular, it is also time-consuming, so it may not be possible to use it for every class. Brainstorming and mind mapping styles are good for those who like visual representation of information. What you will end up with is essentially a series of circles that connect via lines from one to another. To follow this method, begin in the middle of a sheet of paper. 1. Determine the main subject or topic. Write this title in the center of the page with a circle around it. Note that you can have more than one piece of paper going at the same time. If you think you have the main topic and then that topic shifts, you can create a new mind map and then consolidate your notes later. 2. As major facts or subheadings are presented that relate to the main subject or topic, draw lines out from the circle and label. 3. As additional facts are presented that relate to each subheading, draw these lines linked to appropriate major facts and label. 4. Once you have created your visual representation of the material, use a space around the edge of the paper to pose questions. You can also use different colored lines to connect different thoughts. You can also use the edge of the paper to clarify any points that you think are vague or confusing within your own mind map writing. This will help you when you come to review later. 5. After the final mind map is as complete as you want it to be, make sure that you review it at regular intervals in preparation of the final exam. It is important that you ensure that you can explain each of the concepts you have placed in circles, as these are the core focus of your understanding. Brainstorming and mind maps are particularly good for visual learners, but they're sometimes hard to achieve in the actual lecture and are much more useful when taking notes from a textbook or reading. This is because you are reading critically, you know what is coming next, and you can organize your brainstorming or mind mapping accordingly. If your next assignment is a written essay, the brainstorming and mind mapping methods can work particularly well to help you clarify your thoughts and the links between them. The outline method. This method of taking lecture notes is suitable for those using a laptop or tablet. You write general information to the left and add more specific facts and clarifications indented to the right. Being sure to write your points in organized order chronologically, follow these guidelines to implement this method. 1. Start with a major point or topic. Write it farthest to the left of the page or space on which you are making your notes. 2. Beneath it, write a series of more specific points relating to that major point and indent the rules slightly. 3. Levels of importance of the specific points will be indicated by the vertical or horizontal distance away from major point. 4. Use various indentation, such as no marking, just space relationships. These do a simple indentation. You may also use more complex indentation, such as by using Roman numbers, letters, or other symbols. The outline method to take lecture notes has several advantages. Firstly, it suits anyone who gets satisfaction from an orderly, neat formation to their notes. Better still, if you do it right, this system records not just content, but also the relationships between aspects of the content. This can lead to better critical thinking skills and makes this method particularly ideal for reviewing material. This is because the relationships between points are obvious and not much editing is needed. Assignment. Now please watch a TED Talk titled, "Let's Help Refugees Thrive, Not Just Survive," and challenge to take notes during a lecture. Then summarize the lecture based on your notes after you watch the video. The link is available on Manaba. Try to use one of the note-taking styles I just introduced and post your notes and summary together on Microsoft Teams folder. If you will take notes on a sheet of paper, please scan it or take a picture of it in order to paste onto your Microsoft Word file. Once you have finished watching a TED Talk, taking notes, and summarizing what you have learned, please check your summary with your study partner, which you can view on Manaba. The due for this assignment is Wednesday, 13th of May, 11 p.m. Lastly, becoming a good note taker is going to help you with memory and with the retention of information. Reviewing your notes at regular intervals is also going to help you while studying. And all of this is going to help you do better in studying at university.